Hey guys, this is Gingerbeard from Klysm Gaming, along with Liam and Kyle from the League of Legends Windsor area Facebook page. And we will be talking about today, I got 20 questions to interview them with on League of Legends. So if you guys want a brief introduction of yourself, you can go ahead.
Hi, I'm Liam. I'm known as Don Royale in-game. That's Don Royal with an E at the end because I'm fucking stupid. But anyway, I run the League of Legends Windsor area group, and basically I started it because when I first got into League of Legends about a year and a half ago, I had been posting a bunch of League of Legends related posts on my own Facebook wall, and whenever I would post them, half of the comments I would get would be from people who didn't know what League of Legends was, so they'd be like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? I have no idea what this is. This is, like, makes no sense to me. This is all just foreign shit to me. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's time I put all this somewhere else. So I made the group for basically me and my friends, and after a couple of other people had joined it, it became this big thing, and now we have, like, what is it, like 77 members. So we're...
You got 77.
And, Kyle?
Hey guys, my name's Kyle. If you want to look me up on League of Legends, I'm Viverius, Viverius. I do nothing to contribute to Liam's Facebook page, but I do like to occasionally go on and complain about other people's games and talk about how good I am at mine.
Sounds like a good plan. Alright, so if you guys don't mind, we're going to be starting on these questions. I got 20 questions, as I said before, and we will probably fly through these depending on how much time we have. Alright, cool. First question would be, what is your favorite champion to play as?
Oh god, so I had been playing, like, a bunch of champions at first. When I first started the game, I'm like, what champion do I like? And I was looking through, like, the list of champions at the time. It was, like, 60 or something back then. They had, like, no champions. Now they have over 100. And the first champion that struck my eye was Rammus. I'm like, Armadillo. He's an armadillo, and he's fucking cool, and he's a tank, and he doesn't die, and it's awesome, and I love that. So I played Rammus, like, almost exclusively for, like, the first, like, for at least 10 levels of me playing through League of Legends. And then after Rammus got buffed, because he was really weak for a time, like, he's a difficult champion to balance, right? Because he's got such a great kit. So what they did was they nerfed him a bit, and then they buffed him a bit when he wasn't seeing a lot of play. So then I started playing him, and then everyone picked him up, and everyone was playing him for a while. So he got nerfed again, and ever since then I just couldn't play him because everyone would counter jungle him. Right now, my favorite champion is Jax. I don't think there's ever going to be a time when Jax isn't good. So right now I'm playing a lot of Jax, and that's my favorite champion.
Didn't they at one time they nerfed Jax for a bit because he was like too insane?
They did, and he still was really good. Like, even when the remake first happened, I mean, there was a ton, like, I guess when his ultimate was not as good as it is now, I suppose he was less popular, but for the most part he's been always a great champion to play. What's your favorite champion, Kyle?
When you're trying to pick out champions to play, you try to think of the ones that look the coolest, first off. And when I was introduced to League of Legends by my friend, he liked Swain. So I thought, that's more his champ, he can have that one. So I stayed away from Swain for the longest time. And then I actually looked into Swain, and I started playing him. And I realized, well, not only is he the coolest character in the league, but goddamn, he is so fun. He's just so great in lane, unless you're up against Kassadin, and nobody's good against Kassadin.
Oh, fuck Kassadin.
if I'm not in mid lane, lately I've been playing a lot of Hecarim. I know he's really underrated by a lot of people, but I really think he's a lot of fun. So you should at least try him one time before you say, oh, he's bad.
Yeah. Alright, question number 2 would be, what is your favorite build or troll build?
Okay, so my favorite build, like, I've been playing a lot of ranged attack damage carries. I know I said, like, Rammus and Jax and whatever, but every time, like, we play a ranged 5s with everyone, I'll always pick the bot lane attack damage carry because I generally do really well as them. Everyone's, like, so bored of just, like, right-clicking and killing people, but I actually find that to be a lot of fun. I'm the type of person who can play champs that farm for a while, so I like attack damage carries. And the thing with attack damage carries is they're very linear in how they're built. Like, you'll build Trinity Force or Infinity Edge, and then you go, like, Zert Greaves, Guardian Angel, Bloodthirster, and then, like, Phantom Dancer, and then, like, Last Whisper or a second Phantom Dancer if they're not stacking armor, and then you build, like, defense items like a Guardian Angel, like I said, or a Quicksilver Sash. So that's, like, my favorite way to build a lot of the champions I play, because most of them basically have been the same way to build. What about you, Kyle?
But typically, I like building tankier characters that are tanky early on and then do damage later. Like, some characters, like I play Graves, you can't do that. You gotta have a lot of AD early games so you can harass. But characters, typically, like, people you jungle with, I like to build tanky early on with Wriggle's Lantern, which I think is good on any solo top or jungler, and work my way up to Infinity Edge if I can, and then start building Atma's Impaler with a Warmogs late game for someone like Nautilus.
Yeah.
Cool. The next question would be, what is your most memorable moment in League of Legends?
That's a good one, because I have a lot of... Me and Kyle actually have a lot of really good moments together. We've played a lot. We've played at least 200 games together, haven't we?
God,
We've won at least 200 games together. That's... Because, like, the thing is, Kyle was the one who pretty much showed me League of Legends. It was our little friend group, but Kyle was the one who I first played League of Legends with, and it's been we've had some good times, but, oh my god, I have to think about this for a second, because I don't remember. Like, I've had, a few moments, you know, like pentakills and stuff, but the only pentakill I've ever gotten is so unmemorable. But I want to say, okay, I got a good one. I was playing Rammus at the time. This was back when I was still maining Rammus, and I was playing him on the Twisted Tree line, and the Twisted Tree line is a 3v3 map, so you have 3 opponents. It's very easy to counter certain team compositions. The enemy team composition was Tryndamere, Malphite, and someone else who relied on auto attacks. So being Rammus, a character who is generally the anti-damage guy, the guy who gets in the face of the people who auto attack, he's like really good against that specific team composition. So basically, I built like 400 armor that game. I had probably 400 armor with defensive ball curls stacked. And I just completely wrecked them. I was 1v3ing them, getting double kills, and my team would get the 3rd kill or whatever, and I was just completely carrying that game. It was the best thing in the world. I went like 13-0 or something, or 13-2. And then another one that just stuck out was when I went 9-0 as Rammus in my first ranked game as him. It was just so hilarious. I would always just get the kill, and it ended up with 9 kills, and they surrendered at 20 minutes. It was the best thing ever. It was so awesome. What about you, Kyle?
I've got 2 that I'm kind of torn between. Both were when I was playing with Liam. In one game I was playing as Sona, and Liam knows right away what was happening. And we were going to Baron because they were at Baron, and we were going to try to take it from them. I can't recall who you were.
I was Ashe that game. I was doing so bad.
So Liam uses his abilities in the fray, and I use Ashe's ultimate, or Sona's ultimate Crescendo, and they all die at Baron. So Liam here thinks that he got a quadra kill, because that's what the announcer is saying.
It's saying quadra kill. The thing is, back then they didn't like specifically show who got the quadra kill when the faces popped up when people get killed.
Yeah.
So it was,
so it turns out my ult had stunned them all, just so Baron could kill them all and collect me a quadra kill.
And for those who don't know, like, what the characters of League of Legends are, Sona is generally one of the weakest damage characters in the game. She's a pure support champion who relies on helping her team. Getting a quadra kill with Sona is absolutely ridiculous. It was just one of the funniest moments I've ever had. We're just like sitting here, our AP Fiddlesticks, and Kyle is Sona, and we're like, oh my god, we got a quadra kill, that's great, we aced them, we're gonna win, wait, he got the quadra kill? It was so great.
And like, how the hell did he get a quadra kill?
I don't even know.
What was the other one, Kyle? You said good too?
the other game, actually, I was also playing as Sona. I know Liam was playing as Urgot.
Oh.
And I don't remember how it was going early game, but I remember it got really bad late game. I know we lost that. And I would be hanging around Liam, supporting him. And on the enemy team, they had a gangplank. And their gangplank was getting quite fed on kills. And at 2 occasions, I specifically remembered, Liam ulted gangplank towards me.
Now, for those who don't know, Urgot has an ability. His ultimate ability freezes the enemy champion in place, which is what I was thinking of. Like, that's how I was thinking. Okay, I can get this. I got this. It's cool. I freeze him in place, and he'll get killed or whatever. But it swaps the place of the people, and I was right next to Kyle when I used this ability, and he was trying to run away from the gangplank that was chasing him down. I inadvertently put him in a position where gangplank was right next to him, and just able to kill him with one ability. It was so bad.
That 2v1 turned into a 1v1 that Liam could not win.
That was a bad game for us.
All right, so the fourth question would be, what do you think of the new patch preview?
So, this patch preview was a big one. So, in this patch preview, they remade 3 champions, which is a huge thing. They barely remake one every, 2-3 months. So they remade, Evelyn, Twitch, and Xin Xiao. Now, these 3 champions were very weak, except for Twitch. Twitch was fine, but, Evelyn and Xin Xiao were champions that the community was really, sad about. They were like, oh my god, I can't play these champions. I wasted my in-game money buying them. I have a skin for them, and they're useless. So the community was just crying for the admins of the game to give them buffs, to make them good again. So this patch, they gave new abilities and new little tricks for each of those 3 champions to use. I personally think each of the 3 champions that have gotten reworked have gotten significantly buffed, except for Twitch, who was fine at first, and I'm still trying to come around to. I actually thought it was a nerf at first, and now I think it's fine. His laning's a lot better, but I think overall, I think it was a mistake to buff them that much. I mean, Evelyn is just so ridiculous right now, and I mean, if people don't know how to fight a Xin Xiao, they're going to get wrecked pretty hard too, so I think they're going to balance them for, people who are trying to get, just starting to get into ranked and trying to get up the ladder of ranked games, because those sorts of champions, like the Evelyn and the Xin Xiao of now, and champions like Darius, are going to, stomp people who are trying to get into ranked, and I think that they're going to balance those champions that they've just reworked, because they have made them a bit too powerful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I like the new Gangplank change where he gets half his mana when he kills someone with his gunshot. I'm a big fan of Gangplank, and yeah, I'm really excited about this patch. But I think they're going to get nerfed, the new reworked champions, Xin and Evelyn at least. What do you think, huh?
I really like this patch, the remakes for the 3 champs. Now, Twitch I can't really comment on because I've never played Twitch, but I would like to. I played Evelyn before she was reworked, and while I thought she was okay, she was just very okay. She could never do anything spectacular. So, as we record this, she's only been reworked for a day, so I haven't really had a chance to play her. So hopefully we get to go in a game, we get to try her out, and maybe sometime in the future I can comment on this, update on my thoughts. Xin Xiao I never really played. I have a few times though, but I really like what they've done with him. He's no longer dependent on that one ability to get his life back. He now passively does it. I really love his ult now. That's his passive where he challenges an opponent. He targets one person and lowers their armor. And his ultimate, Crescendo Sweep, hits every enemy in his area, and it pushes them away, except for the challenged target, which is really good if you really want to stay in a 1v1 match, or if you actually want to push a select target into your team. I like the smaller things that Riot's been doing lately, like the money items now, Cage's Pick, Avarice Blade, Heart of Gold. they now display how much money that they've made for you. I like all these little changes that Riot are doing, giving you the minion indicator, how many you've killed in the top right corner, or just the ping symbol when the turret targets you. They really do help.
Why do they nerf the support items though? I'm sorry. That's just one thing. They nerf the good support items, the health regen on Philosopher's Stone and the bonus health on Heart of Gold. And there's a big QQ thread on the forums about how they're nerfing supports to the ground, and it sucks. But sorry, Kyle.
I'm done.
And okay, so Kyle's done. So one other thing I wanted, because I forgot about it, is the Malzahar change. I think that's a big thing. A good friend of ours is a big fan of Malzahar. He likes Malzahar a lot, and he thinks this is like the best buff in the world because he's wanted Malzahar to be viable for the longest time, and he never felt he was until now. Now that his minions are actually not bumfuck retarded, I think that's actually going to make him viable again because his minions can make up a large part of his DPS, and even like. Whereas Malzahar is generally an AP caster, a lot of people, when playing Dominion, I've noticed, build him as an attack damage carry because of the fact that his minions scale 1-for-1 off his attack damage, so they can actually do ridiculous amounts of damage. I'm waiting to see how the minion change affects his attack damage build, and seeing if maybe he's a worthwhile purchase to play in bot lane in Dominion, because I generally play bot lane in Dominion when I play Dominion. But, yeah, I'm liking the Malzahar changes and some parts of the patch preview.
Which reminds me that the best part of this newest patch is probably the dance animation that the Voidling now has.
God. Can't touch this. Anyway.
Number 5. What is your highest score ever?
I remember I was playing a game on my Smurf account. I think it was with you, actually, Nick. I mean, I was playing as Kog'Maw. I was on, like, a level,
Kog'Maw. That was funny.
And the guy, like, the thing with level 10 accounts is when you're a player who has upwards of 500 wins on your account, you know what you're doing. But the people who I was playing against, who maybe, even if they are on a Smurf account, like, which is to say an account they have that's a lower level, but they're playing from a standpoint where they've already won 500 games, so they are at that kind of level, but it's not reflected in the actual in-game. So when you're smurfing like that, it's really hard to tell who's good and who's not on the enemy team, except for a kill-death ratio. So I was playing as Kog'Maw that game, and I was fighting the enemy Ashe mid, and I probably got a good 5 to 6 kills in lane. Then they started ganking me, and that's when things really got bad for them, because, like, the enemy, I think they had a jungler that game, I don't know if they did or didn't, but it was either I was ganking their lanes, or they were ganking me and failing so miserably, because I did so much damage at that point. But I ended that game at 34 kills and 2 deaths, and that is to say, probably my best score that I've ever had in a PvP game, because I'm just like, I just turned on W and 3-shot someone, like, I would just right-click and hold it in 3 hits, like, I was actively pursuing tanks. Like, that's how bad it was. When you're a carry, like the typically easiest to kill, like high damage but really low defense character, and you're chasing down Alistar, who is typically one of the hardest champions in the game to kill, and because not only because of the fact that he builds durable and he builds in a way that makes him really hard to kill, but he has abilities that both disable your character, peel them off, and make him harder to kill because he heals himself and he has an ultimate that makes him really hard to kill. Like, he gets billions of armor. But I was still like actively chasing him as a squishy carry, so it was one of my best games, but so hilarious. What about you, Kyle?
I think the best game I ever had on the Rift was a game I had at Swain. And when I went into this game, I went in with 3 other people. Liam here was one of them. And we had a random 5th. And I know that the teams were pretty well balanced early game, except for 2 people on either team, 1 person on each team who ended up getting fed. They're Ezreal and me as Swain. So Ezreal and I were really just going at it with each other, and the rest of the fight was going on. It was a very good game. Everyone was doing their roles very well. except for the random fifth on our team. It's always the random fifth who's going to fuck you up.
I always say this when we play a game. Rule of arranged fours, when you have 4 people on your team, the random fifth always feeds. Anyway.
That's what the Urgot did. He fed. So, Ezreal and I were both powerful. We had our full build. I think my final score was like 16, 4, 20 some odd assists. It was a very close game. We pushed them at least down to their inhibitor or their nexus turrets, but we did ultimately end up losing that one.
Yeah.
Thanks,
thanks, Urgot.
All right. Question number 6. How many pentakills have you ever gotten in a single match?
Well,
or ever?
It's really hard to get more than 1 in a single match. I've seen, like, if you see more than 1 in a single match, it's usually on YouTube, and you're usually Katarina. But,
Or Darius.
Or Darius, that too. Release Darius, not like Darius now. They nerf his ultimate, so it's not actually just bumfuck retarded. But the only pentakill I've ever had was I was playing as AP Tristana on Dominion, and for some reason, the entire enemy team decided to push the windmill, which is the top point in the map. Generally, in almost like 95% of situations on Dominion, you're going to have 4 people on the top area, like the top half of the map, and 1 person on the bottom lane. So they had 5 people pushing our tower, and I'm just like not even caring. I'm like, I didn't even know there was 5 people. I thought there was 4, and I thought to myself, I have an opportunity. I'm going to grab it. So I use all of my abilities. I burst down the enemy carry, and I'm like, I got a double kill. So I'm like, okay. And the thing with Tristana is one of her abilities says when an enemy champion is killed, you reset the ability. If you get a kill or assist, it resets the ability. The ability is a jump that deals a lot of magic damage. So the thing with Tristana is, if you build her for ability power and you're winning a fight, there is absolutely like no way they can win that fight because you were just god mode in the team fight if you even get 1 kill. Like you're like Katarina in that regard because you just completely stomp them if you get even 1 kill. So the thing with them is they were all bunching together, and the ability that jumps and deals damage is AoE. So like I was dealing 1 billion damage to them AoE. Like I got the double kill. I instantly jumped to 2 more people and then shot one of the other guys for a triple kill. Then jumped to the guy for a quadra kill, and I'm like, wait, there's another guy over there? So I used my flash ability and then jumped to him for the pentakill, and I'm like, that just happened. I didn't time like it was just like, oh wait, I got a pentakill. Cool, I guess. And it was the only pentakill I've ever gotten, but it's Dominion. It was with a not ideal build. Generally, you build Tristana for attack damage, not for ability power, but it was just one of those random things. I would have been so much happier if I'd gotten it on Summoner's Rift with a champion where I build them properly and I was actually good at the champion. I just randomly picked up Tristana for that game. I was just not even caring. But yeah, that's my pentakill story. What about you, Kyle?
I've never had a pentakill. I'm not that skilled that I can actually... I've had a few quadra kills or delayed pentas, but never actually in-game pentakill.
I want to say, though, I want you to tell the Riven story, because that's always going to be... that's one of our most memorable moments. I'm surprised you actually didn't bring that up in the memorable moments.
I don't remember how the early game for that went. I was Riven, and we were pushing their second mid-lane tower. And
yeah, that's how it started.
Somehow I ended up getting a quadra kill. And who was the one person left? I think
Caitlyn. It was the Caitlyn.
Yeah. She was the only one left, and just as I was going for her, she killed me. She got jumped on and she died, but I was so mad at her.
Yeah, I was Galio that game, and okay, what happened was, we were in the middle of their base, and me and him are the only ones actually trying to kill Caitlyn. Caitlyn's at like 2 or 3 bars of health, but because she's ranged and Riven is melee, Riven has to like do a lot of work to like, has to walk towards her while she's attacking her. So it was like, and here I am, fully able to kill her because I have all my cooldowns up except for my ultimate, which I use to initiate the team fight. And I could easily kill this guy, But I'm, like, sitting here like, okay, he's got a quadra-kill. He can get the pentakill, no problem. So I throw my ability to, like, try and weaken her so that he can get the one hit for the pentakill, and because she's, like, relatively fed, she ends up killing him, and I'm like, you bitch! And then I just, like, ran up to her and killed her. It was so... You deny a pentakill. What kind of sick, twisted soul are you? But, yeah, it was so close, and I just wish we would have actually gotten that one. That would have been such a great story to tell.
Yeah.
Not that we already didn't tell it, but still.
All right. What is your favorite role in a match?
I shipped a lot. I've done every role extensively, except for solo mid. I don't do solo mid very well. That's something I'm very good at. I mean, I have a couple of champions. I have Ryze, I have Kassadin, I have Xerath. I've played a few solo mids here and there, but it's not a role I generally enjoy playing. The nuker is not something I do very well. I like to do sustained DPS. I'm not a big fan of burst DPS, except when you burst down the enemy carry at 45 minutes and they're fed as fuck. That's a different story. But generally, I've done a lot of bruisers. I play a lot of bruisers, so either I'll play them top or I'll play them in the jungle. When we first started doing, like, delegating team roles, when we first started talking about, like, a team composition, I was put on support. But the problem with playing support is it's really hard to carry a support, and the thing was, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I was the most skilled player on the team, so it's really hard to be the support player when you're the most skilled player, you make the calls and everything, so I was shifting around playing as the solo top bruiser for a while, and now I'm starting to play more of the bot lane attack damage carry, so I'm working on that. I just need to have a more solid support base. Like, I play with random supports all the time who will steal my farm and push the lane for some reason.
Yeah.
But I'm just playing attack damage carry more and more. What about you, Kyle?
Typically, I don't play a character... I'll always try to pick a character that I'm in the mood for at that time. So I could play any role. If somebody would rather, if I want to play as Xerath, but somebody else wants to go mid, then I will be okay with that. Some champs I just feel better at, more confident at, so I feel better at that role. I play Graves, so I'm okay as bottom AD carry. I like playing Janna, so I feel I'm really good as her as a support. Nautilus is fun to jungle with, and Swain is very good in mid, in my opinion. I have champs for each role that I would like to play more. I'd like to play some more Caitlyn again, bot, or I would like to go back to Olaf in the jungle. I have a few top characters that I like to play, but I really don't play confident.
GTFO! Sorry about that. My brother's being a cunt bag.
Oh, Lord. But...
All right, so moving on to the next question. What is your favorite game mode?
Well, like, there's a lot of things, like, most people think, oh, there's, like, just Classic and Dominion, but there's, like, a lot of things. You can play Ranked, but nobody really likes Ranked. You just play it to, like, put more dick hat points on your profile.
Yeah.
I generally like playing Classic, in Summoner's Rift. I played Twisted Treeline to learn the game more, to become a better player, because, like, I would solo queue Twisted Treeline a lot. That's when I was playing Rammus a lot. I would just play Rammus on Twisted Treeline in bot lane, and I'd duo bot with someone, and we'd always win, because Rammus taunt was, like, still really ridiculous. But, I play a lot of Dominion, surprisingly. Like, a lot of people say, oh, Dominion sucks, it's like the worst game mode ever, but, like, I'm just going to take a look for a second.
Dominion's actually a pretty good game mode, I find.
I have 176 wins on Dominion, and, like, a lot of people say, oh, Dominion's just the worst. It's actually, like, a lot of fun, because, like, you can play any champion, really. You can, like, have 5 carries, and it's not that big a deal. Like, certain team comps will work better than certain others, sure, but every champ has their counter picks, you know, and I've always found Dominion to be fun because I can actually play AP mids. I can learn to play AP mids. You can learn to play any champion through playing Dominion. Like, Dominion teaches you the art of the team fight or the art of the skirmish, figuring out, like, oh, the enemy's near, maybe I should back off from committing to this fight. Like, I shouldn't blow all my abilities on one person when one of their teammates is coming in there at full health. Or maybe I should learn who to focus in a team fight. Like, I feel Dominion's a great way of learning that because games are so fast-paced and there's so much action in the game that you can really learn the nuances of a team fight. Or when you're playing a bot lane champion such as, like, Heimerdinger or Gangplank or Galio, you can, like, really learn, like, how to win a 1v1 lane and like, play as a solo. Because the thing is, in Summoner's Rift, everyone wants the solo lanes, right? Everyone wants to play the game where they get the farm, they get the kills, no kill stealing, and I'm always the guy who carries the game. But in Dominion, no one wants the solo lane. Everyone wants the team fight. So when you play Dominion, you can get a sense to play the solo lane when you never got to in the previous Summoner's Rift game you were playing. What are your thoughts, Kyle?
Personally, for me, my favorite game mode will change. It's, again, going back to who I feel in the mood to play. I have 3 particular characters that I'll play Dominion on. I'll play Evelyn, Jax, or Hecarim on there. I just think they're really good on that map. If I want to play somebody else, I would rather go to the Rift. I haven't really played much of the Proving Grounds yet recently, but it's really good. It's sort of like Dominion, where it's all skirmishes all the time, except there's no downtime on it. Nobody is out of the game. It's not like defending this one point and then you recall and there's that period where there's just nobody to challenge you. You can't go back and heal on the Proving Grounds. You have to always be in the fight, which is a really interesting idea. I really like the idea that they had there. I haven't played on the Twisted Tree line in at least a year. I personally don't find it very interesting anymore. Hopefully they'll do something with it, like even if they gave it the graphics update that they gave Summoner's Rift, just something to entice me to get back into it. Because it probably doesn't get enough play as it is.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to note was I didn't mention the Proving Grounds. I love Murder Bridge. I think it's one of the more fun modes because everyone was requesting like the all random, all mid map. But I would like the Proving Grounds a lot more if every freaking game I wasn't Jarvan for, because I really hate playing Jarvan. I am terrible at him, so every game I play as him, I build all support items, and I just play the hero. I just initiate every fight and die because I don't like this hero. I'm like, fuck my life, this person can go die. I'm not playing this hero anymore. Last game I played in the Proving Grounds, I went 5-18-45 as Jarvan because like I would always initiate every fight. I'd be in every fight. I'd be the one to make the plays, but it was I hate Jarvan. So bad as him. Anyway.
All right. Next question. What is your favorite alt on any champ in the game?
I'd say Karthus, but that's just a dick move. No. There's a lot of really good ultimates in the game. That's the thing. I'm learning to play Draven a lot. Like I've been learning Draven extensively for the last a couple weeks. That I've been I bought him like about 2 weeks ago, and I've just been playing him extensively. He's like my new favorite ranged AD carry to play, and using his ultimate properly has gained me a lot of really good moments. Like the thing with playing against a Nidalee, like it's really hard to kill a Nidalee. But I was playing against one game, and we got her really low in a chase. But the thing is, she juked us. Like we were on purple team's blue buff, and she had run through our jungle and gotten to mid lane. So I'm just like, hey, I can aim this properly, and I just threw it out, and I just sniped her, and I'm like, yes, I'm the best Draven in the world, woo! But I don't know. There are a lot of really good alts. Shen's alt's really good. Malphite's alt's really good. Annie's is really good. Like, team fight alts. Ashe, Amumu, Fiddlesticks. Like, there are some really good ultimates for team fights. Zillion's another fun one, because you get some really great moments with Zillion ultimates. If you're playing an AP, like, you just you GA your carry for, like, all their health and mana back, and it was awesome. Trinimir's a fun one, because you can, like, fool people into thinking you can kill them when you really can't.
Yeah.
I like playing Taric a lot in Dominion. It's funny, because, like, people won't believe this is legit, but AD Taric is actually the shit in Dominion, so I've played a lot, and the thing with Taric's ultimate is it gives an aura of attack damage, and it does, like, a strong amount of base damage. It does, like, 300 base damage at rank 1, which is really awesome. So I'll just, like, walk up to someone, stun them, lower their armor with Shatter, ult them for the bonus armor, and then use Yomu's Ghostblade and Entropy, and they'd just be dead because they couldn't escape me, because I slow them with my auto attacks, I move faster and attack faster, they would just be completely trapped, and it's so fun to play as AD Taric, but that's all I can think of. I'm probably missing something really great, so Kyle can probably fill that one in for you.
I agree here with Liam, saying that, like, team fight abilities are the ones that, you know, really are the best. Like, I know I've mentioned Hecarim a few times in these questions, but he is a really fun champ, and I love his ultimate. He charges forward in a circle, and wherever he lands, any enemies that are caught in that circle are feared, and they run away from Hecarim. Now, you initiate with that. You fly at the back of the ranks, and they're feared back into your team. It's so good. It's so satisfying when you get them all. When you go on YouTube to look for ult videos of people who have skill shot ults, like Ashe, Ezreal, Draven. You know, that's what you're looking for on YouTube.
Or Karthus ult pentakills.
Or Karthus ult pentakills. Global ults, some have more interesting ults than others. I really like Twisted Fate's ult, but I'm an awful Twisted Fate, so...
Our rule of play is whenever Kyle plays Twisted Fate, we shank him. Like, Kyle should never play Twisted Fate. Like, he's to Twisted Fate what I am to Jarvan. We just don't talk about playing those champions. But, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay.
That's funny. Question number 10. Which champion would you like to own that you don't already own?
I'm partial, like, I like, order all my purchases, like, because I have, I think I have, like, 63 or 64 champs at this point. I have 63. So, the ones I don't own, like, I don't own, like, 37 or 38 of them. But, the champions I'm most looking at right now, like, I play a lot of attack damage carries, so the biggest attack damage carry I don't own that I really like to own is Graves. I find Graves to be extremely fun to play. Everyone underestimates his level 6 damage, because right at level 6, if you're at less than half your health, you're just dead. You'll dash in, QR, and then auto attack once, and they'll just be dead. They can't do anything. Like, I've burst down so many people from doing that. Like, when he was released, he was just the most fun champion to play. Like, I played him in a box game because I was just, like, me and my best friend were just fucking around, and we were playing box, and I built, like, 4 Bloodthirsters on Graves. So I would just, like, walk in, dash, QR, and I'd literally one-shot 2 people at once. It was just so great. Aside from that, I was really looking into Trundle because I play a lot of junglers. Like, generally, when I don't get the attack damage carry on the team, jungle is what I'll delegate to because a lot of people will want to play the solo top, because there's so many solo top champions at the moment. So, Trundle is someone I've really been interested in playing because he's a fantastic duelist early game. I really like playing Trundle. I think he's a fun champion to play. Very skill intensive with the pillar, but I hate his mana problems. That's probably why I need to start building Philosopher's Stone on him. But aside from that, I own a lot of the champions I don't own on my main account. On Smurf accounts, like I have Xin Shao on my Smurf, I have Olaf, I'm planning to buy Renekton, I have Pantheon, so I'm looking to try the new Xin Shao on my old account, so I may buy him on this one. Wukong's a lot of fun. Vladimir's great in double AP comps because he's a strong solo top against a lot of champions. He counters a lot of, generally ranged champions in solo top lane will dominate because of the fact that they can harass so much. Nautilus is another jungler I wanted to buy, and Yorick was always a champion I wanted to buy from release, but I never got around to buying him. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking here. What about you, Kyle?
I think if I can purchase any champ right now, there's one of three that I would pick. I'm kind of thinking of Rumble right now. I've only played him probably in the week that he came out on the free rotation, and he's really interesting in how he plays. He doesn't work off of mana or energy. He works off that overheating system, which there's no other character that does that, is there?
No, the heat system is exclusive to Rumble, actually.
So he's really interesting. It's like, especially in his ult, how you have to drag it in a certain direction. It's almost like a skill shot, but you place it, sort of. I'd also want to try, maybe get Ziggs, I think. Ziggs I played just the other week, I think, when he was in the rotation, and he seemed really good. I like that he can harass so well. And it doesn't seem like you can particularly shut him down. You can definitely beat him in lane, but if you leave him to free farm, he pushes incredibly hard. All you need to do is lay out your explosive minefield and then toss a bomb at the group of minions, and you've essentially killed them all.
Yeah.
One other champ I'd like to get, I think, would be Ahri. Ahri, I only ever played one game in, and I disconnected from that game. So that was silly. I'd like to try her more in depth because I like how she plays. I like the idea behind her abilities, that she's like this mage assassin who's supposed to get in, do as much damage as she can, and get out, sort of like Cassidy. And there's not too many mages that do that are made to flash in somehow. So I would like to try her some more.
Next question would be, what is your favorite skin on a champion?
I've always been partial to Gentleman Cho'Gath, but legendary skins I think are exempt from this. I think we can all agree that all the legendary skins are just awesome. I mean, except for Pulsefire Ezreal.
And Magnificent Twisted Fate.
Yeah, Magnificent Twisted Fate is just dumb. Magnificent Twisted Fate could seriously be a 520 at this point, I think. Yeah. Just because it's so bad. But I think Pulsefire Ezreal is a bit overrated. It's not worth like the 4,000 RP almost that it's being sold at.
It's very good. They obviously put a lot of thought into it, and hopefully, I'd like to see more legendary skins with this much thought process behind it. But I don't think it's worth the $2 trillion that you have to pay for it.
It's seriously worth like $25. I'm not even joking. Like, if you do the math, it's worth more than I think a $25 RP card. Maybe, I don't know. It's in between 25 and 35, I think. But it's still just absurd. Other skins I really like some of the champs I have. My favorite champs are the ones with the best skins. It's something, I don't know, I'm partial to champs with good skins. Like, I bought Ghostplank a while ago, so when they redid his artwork, they redid Ghostplank, and that was like just after I bought it. And the thing with Gangplank's old artwork is he literally had like pubic hair on his chest, and it looked
Ew.
But when they reworked him, they redid the Ghostplank skin, and he looks so freaking cool with it. And I'm like, that's awesome! I can play Ghostplank all day. And that was when he was really good too. So I was playing a lot of Gangplank at the time. Like, Gangplank was my transition from Rammus to Jax. He was my favorite champ at that point. But Jax. Speaking of Jax, the Jacksonist skin is probably my favorite skin of all. It is just so awesome, and it is. I'm so grateful I made that purchase. It really means a lot too, because it was made after like a kid who had some sort of fatal disease, and he actually did pass away from that disease. And they mentioned that in one of the patch previews. It was
this patch preview. They actually reworked some of the Jacksonist skins audio files, so it. Made just little hints, little commemoratives to that man that died.
Mm-hmm. Pharaoh Nasus is another great skin. I really like Nasus. He's probably my second favorite champ right now to Jax. He's just so fun to play, and I almost always wreck with him. The holiday skins in general are great skins because they always make the champions look so interesting. I bought both the Maokai and Heimerdinger Christmas skins because they're both so awesome. But I like a lot of skins. Let's just say that. What about you, Kyle?
Some champs have really good skins. Like, lately with the last few champs, they've had the thing where instead of releasing the champ with 2 skins, they release the champ with 1 skin. But the skin is a better quality. And I really think Soul Reaver Draven is a fantastic skin. Its model is just really good. Its artwork is the bomb, really. There's also Graves. Graves, when he came out, I really liked how he played, but I didn't like any of the skins that he had.
I don't know. I really freaking like Jailbreak Graves. Nobody likes Jailbreak Graves except me because it reminds me of Biker Mice from Mars, and I fucking love Biker Mice from Mars.
I guess Jailbreak's okay, but neither skin was anything that I would buy. Mm-hmm. And then Mafia Graves came out, and I'm like, wow, I need that. I gotta have that.
I was the same way for Mafia Misfortune. That skin is sexy as fuck, and I'm gay, so whatever. But there's a lot of good ones. Like
Cryocore Brand.
Yeah, Cryocore Brand is amazing. Mr. Freeze, that is so fucking great. I just got a Scorched Earth Zerath. They released it on the public beta environment a long time ago, and they recently released it like on the servers, and it's just like one of the best skins. I was waiting for the longest time. I had the RP to buy it for the longest time. They finally released it, and I'm like, yes. The Pentakill skin line, like skin lines, like Pentakill, Crimson Elite, Commando, like they had some really great skin lines. Even like Full Metal and Bilgewater, like they have a lot of really good skin lines, but I think Pentakill is going to be everyone's favorite because that Pentakill Mordekaiser are just so awesome.
What is the next one? What is the worst game you guys ever played?
Okay, so I was playing a game as Nasus in ranked, and my friend Dylan was watching me, and it's like, okay, I'm Nasus, because I was on a streak with Nasus for a while. I was doing really well. I was wrecking people with Nasus and everything. So my lane opponent is Poppy, and the thing with Poppy is a really hard champion to lane against, because you can shut her down if you're the right champion. Like, Poppy is a very hit-or-miss champion in lane. You can either completely wreck someone or completely get wrecked. If you're ganked a lot, you get wrecked because you have no late game because you can't farm the Trinity Force, and you just can't do anything. But I was playing as Nasus, and the thing with Nasus is a very passive champion in lane. So when you play against the Nasus, generally you build the gold per 10, you don't fight him, you just sit back and farm because you're playing against the Nasus, and Nasus won't ever fight you unless the jungle gank comes in. The thing with when I was playing that game is I got one jungle gank and died 10 times to Poppy in lane. Well, not in lane. I died like 5 times in lane. It got to the point where it was literally like she had 8 kills or something. No, I died way more than 5 times in lane. I probably died more like 8 or 9 times in lane. It was just such a bad game for me. Like, it got to the point where I was at my tower because my team was like, oh, just farm at tower, because the minute I walked out, she would just like charge me, hammer me for half my health, and I would just be like, oh wow, I can't lifesteal this back because she nukes me every 4 seconds for a quarter of my health. So it got to the point where she literally tower dove me, and as much as I tried to stop her, like, I could not do anything against her. And even when the jungle came to gank at that point, it was too late. He would die to the jungle gank, and she would get away despite the fact that I withered her because Poppy was, like, just so dumb when fed. But, yeah, that was my story. I just got shit on, and that was one of my worst games ever. What about you, Kyle?
I think one of my worst games would have to... The worst games will only happen when someone surrenders at the wrong time. Like, I would play this one game. as Tryndamere top. And I was doing great, actually. I was up against Lee Sin. But all the other lanes were having trouble. They were just against bad, had poor communication skills, or they were just up against a comp that was just better than their lane. So we ended up having to surrender at 20 because of how bad everyone else was doing. But regardless of how I was doing top, although I don't think I really could have saved that game. Another instance I had where I believe I was Riven, and of course I was solo queuing. We were getting stomped. Their mid laner had just fed whoever they had. And I believe it was Vigor. But our team was too dumb to actually gang up and focus Vigor because he needed to die. And they refused to surrender. Every chance I got, I would initiate a surrender, and they just would not do it. And that just infuriated me to no end. So, yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
That was kind of a sudden ending. What is the hardest champion you've ever faced while in a match?
That's a good question, actually. When Darius was released, actually, it was a really rough time for me because I was just learning Darius. I had played maybe 2 or 3 games as him. So the funniest part was the first game I played, I had like the shittiest lag ever, and I still went 7-3. I actually killed Mordekaiser at one point, the enemy top laner who I was playing against as Darius. I had killed him without seeing him. It was quite hilarious. Because what would happen is, I would just be standing in the middle of the lane, and I'd start taking damage. But the thing was, my champion was randomly auto-attacking something, and I didn't know what it was. So what I would do is I would just spam all my abilities and hope for the best, and all of a sudden I'd just get a kill, and it was so hilarious. But aside from that, to answer the actual question, I was playing against another Darius in top lane, and I just remember one point where he had completed his Frozen Mallet at this point, and this was when Darius was just the dumbest thing ever, and I was pushing their top lane, and Darius was off the map, so I'm like, okay, I can probably get away if he tries. So what happened was, he showed up, and I didn't react fast enough, so what happened was, he pulled me towards him and attacked me, and I'm like, okay, I'm fucked at this point. Literally, I can run, but he's still slowing me with his Frozen Mallet. He has his W, and he does so much more damage than I do at this point that it's pointless to fight him. So I just died, and I went 1-8, and we surrendered really quickly. It was just a bad game for all of us. In general, Darius was really hard to fight at first. Now I have a better idea of how to fight him. He's really weak early game, and you can kite him very easily if you can make him waste his pull. Another champion, what are the other champions that I was having trouble with? Xin, for the longest time, was a huge problem for me because of the fact that if you're new to the game and you're in that learning curve moment, Xin Zhao is one of those champions. It's just so hard to, learn to fight when you're, level 5 or whatever, because he's so oppressive when he's doing well, but he's so bad when he's doing bad or poorly. So in the right hands, he's just dominates people, and he was just so scary. He was the guy that you would always be oh, I hate that champion. He's my least favorite champion. Blah blah blah. I remember Vayne. Vayne was the worst when she was released. She could dominate anyone. Literally, there was nothing even burst mages just completely got shit on by her because she did so much damage. Her passive let you run faster towards opponents. I had at least double the movement speed bonus, and her ultimate had double the attack damage, double the move speed bonus. Her true damage was stronger. Her cooldowns were better. Her mana costs were better. She was just so overpowered when she was released. I remember playing a game where I just dominated someone to the point where the people playing in that game added me after, and I was playing as Ashe in the next game with them, and I was playing against a Vayne, and people were like, why can't you fight Vayne? Vayne is just oh, you focus her and she's so weak, blah, blah, blah. And it's come and find out. Gank for me and find out. And we just got completely rolled by this guy. It was just so horrible. Vayne was just the worst one released. But, yeah, that's my story. What about you, Kyle?
Some champs are harder to counter than others. Like, I have a particular dislike for any mid champ that's hard to gank. So, casting in pre-6 is no problem, but post-6 becomes a pain. Ari is particularly annoying. I don't like LeBlanc. I don't like Kennen. I really do not like Kennen in that regard. But I'm sure if I played him, then that would be a different story. Everybody dislikes Shaco. Nobody I know likes Shaco when he's played as a jungler, which I don't think I've ever seen him not played as a jungler.
I remember seeing him a lot when his AP build was good. He just like play him bot lane with something like. I remember a buddy of mine was just like, play Shaco with Blitzcrank and play AP Shaco, and you just like pull him into the boxes and rape people. But yeah, Shaco's dumb.
There's not really anything you can do about AP Shaco. You just have to be really smart about doing it. All he has to do is step into like one of the tribe rushes, and if you come in to gank that lane, if you're the jungler, suddenly you get stopped by Shaco's bot, and before you even gank, you're missing a portion of your health. He's got his blink too, so he can hop over walls. So he's particularly annoying.
Have you ever destroyed the enemy's nexus by yourself? Like, have you ever snuck around all through the turrets and shit and actually killed their nexus by yourself?
I remember when I was playing with you and a couple of your friends, when I was playing as Tryndamere, and I was just destroying people as Tryndamere, and we were getting so desperate because we were, like, really on the back burner. I had, like, 20 kills or something, but because the rest of the team was falling behind, like, yeah, I understand that you and your friend were new players, but we had 2 other people, and they were just, like, awful, too. Like, they were doing worse than you guys, and I know you have this thing where you're just, like, beating up on yourself because you think you're the worst player ever. Meanwhile, you're not. Don't worry about it. But
yeah,
we were just, like, we had to, like, make a push at one point. So they were pushing our towers, and because I'm Tryndamere, and I had so many items at that point, I just, like, I had my ultimate up. I'm like, okay, I'll backdoor them. So I got both of their Nexus towers, and I got their Nexus to, like, less than half health, but one of them came back for me, and I had, like, no health, and I had already used my ultimate, and super minions started spawning out of the Nexus, so they were trying to eat my health, and I didn't have enough lifesteal to keep up with them, and because they started coming back, like, but at that point, though, because they had 4 people, and it was just me, like, we lost, but it was... I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter. I've had a couple moments where I've backdoored, but I don't think any of them have really been that successful. I think there's probably been a couple of games where I've backdoored in the Twisted Tree line, because that's like the easiest map to not only backdoor in, but learn backdooring in, because the Nexus is in an awkward place where you can get behind it very easily, whereas in Summoner's Rift you can't quite do that. So you'll be found out if you try and backdoor in Summoner's Rift very early.
Yeah, for real.
Whereas you have very little reaction time in the Twisted Tree line to react to a backdoor, especially because the Nexus has less health. What about you, Kyle? Have you ever backdoored before?
I know that I have in the Twisted Tree line. Never by myself though, but I would. I remember playing as Jax, and I believe I bought Wriggles specifically so I could do this. Where when Jax jumps, he can jump to an ally, and I would place Wriggles' ward down, and then I would jump to it, and then I would be right there at the Nexus, so I could hammer on that. I think, as much as I would say that I'm a bad Twisted Fate, there was a time when I thought that I was actually a pretty good Twisted Fate, and I would build him for attack damage. And I do believe that there was some sort of team fight going on. I believe at bot tower number 2, and I did ult in and attempt to take their Nexus. I believe I did, because I was so good as Twisted Fate.
Good Trinity Force, did tons of damage,
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, because this is something that happens often. I generally I like to play a lot of champions with auto attack reset abilities. My favorite, of course, being Nasus. And the thing with Nasus is, a lot of people don't know how to play against a Nasus. They think, oh, well, when I'm in lane, I can kill him, but if a team fight's going on and they need my help, I gotta leave Nasus alone to farm top. And you don't do that against the Nasus. You don't let Nasus get to 200-300 creeps in a game, because he can literally two-shot towers if you give him enough time. And there was one point where the enemy team was pressuring our mid lane. They got our inner mid tower and were going for our inhibitor. But at this point, I was still farming top, and my team's like, come and help us, please help us. But I'm Nasus, so I'm going to keep pushing top, and eventually I got their second top tower, their top inhibitor tower, and their top inhibitor while they pushed down our inner mid tower. And my team's just like, oh, well, whatever. And then we ended up winning that game because I made that play. It was great. I love Nasus. Nasus two shots towers like a boss.
Have you ever? Yeah, okay. Have you ever killed a champion from hiding in the brush in the beginning? So, like, you know, when the minions are about to spawn, and then they spawn right, and then the champions come out. Have you ever, like, right off the bat, killed a champion?
My favorite moment for this has to be when me, Kyle, and our friends did a team game in Ranked, our first ever team game. We were an awful team, mind you. We had no, like, communication skills, and we were still learning at the time. So, but we had a great play at the first point of the game where we invaded their jungle because we had a really strong invasion team for that. I think we had either Alistar or Blitzcrank. I think was Dylan playing Blitzcrank that game? I think he was. Yeah, so we had a really strong team comp for invading the jungle. So we sat at their top red brush because the enemy jungle was a red start jungle, like a Shyvana or something like that. So what we did was we waited in their top brush, and their Shyvana or their top lane, no, it was their top lane, it was the Rumble, showed up in the brush, and we're just like, hey, we wait for it. He walks into the brush, and bam, instantly dead, because all five of us were there, right? And we were like,
yeah.
I was Yorick, you were Graves, I think.
I was Swain, actually.
Oh, yeah, you were mid that game.
I took that kill.
Oh, yes. And, yeah, we got that really quickly, and that was just probably one of my favorite pre-minion spawn moment. There's probably been others that have gone really good in our favor, despite the fact there's probably been one of those turnaround moments where it's like you're the one who gets caught by like 3 or 4 people, but you flash out and survive, and then your team gets first blood for you. Well, that's happening. Like I probably had one or two of those moments, so that's pretty great. But do you remember anything else, Kyle?
No, just that one instance.
Yeah.
All right. The next question would be, what's your favorite pro gamer?
I'm partial to Snoopy, actually. A lot of people don't know him, but he plays for Counterlogic Gaming in Europe. He is the jungler for that team, and he not only plays a lot of really weird jungles, but he's just a really informative player, doesn't rage very often, and his stream is very fun to watch, so I like him. Dyrus is very fun to watch because he's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, it's either him or Chaox because I'm watching Chaox because he plays Team Solomid's attack damage carry, and through his guides on TeamSolomid.net, I've learned a lot about how to bot lane, pretty much how to play the bot lane attack damage carry, and that's been really informative for me. So I think Chaox is really good for that. What about you, Kyle?
Personally, I don't watch other people play League of Legends. I fear that if I do, I'll actually become a respectable player at the game. My brother is trying to get me to watch some of Guardsman Bob's stuff, and he seems okay. I don't know if I would watch half-hour videos of him in a game. I don't think he's a pro player, but there is this one person on YouTube named Ciderhelm. He does reviews for League Champs, and he does gameplays for new ones that come out, and I really like how he constructs his videos, so you should check him out, actually.
Can you compare League of Legends to its competitors like Han and Dota and stuff like that?
I've never actually, I played Dota 2 once, and I was really awful. I played Puck that game, and I was playing against bots, and I lost that game because I was not even sure what I was doing. The thing with, the competitors is, when you play League of Legends, when you play it enough, you understand every single hero. There are 101 heroes now, and I understand what every single one does. I know all the passives, all the abilities. I can just think of a champion, and I can tell you all their abilities, what to build on them, how to play them. But when you shift that over to a different game of the same genre, you generally think you know what you're doing, but then when you actually play it, you're like, what just happened? Because a lot of the time you don't know what you're up against, and then what you're up against ends up completely dominating you. Oh, that guy has an escape ability that made him escape my position dependent combo that I'm playing, because I'm playing some character like a Swain who needs to snare his opponent to be able to be very effective. It's really hard to transition between those two games. As far as the quality of those games goes, I will always defend League of Legends in that regard. I think, despite the fact that the community is really awful, if you look at the competitors, specifically Heroes of Newerth, the community is actually worse in Heroes of Newerth. I've heard extremely bad things about the community there from players and from League of Legends players, specifically the Nunubot videos. There was a really hilarious episode about how they went to Heroes of Newerth and everyone was literally screaming their lungs out at the guy. It was quite hilarious. But I want to try Smite because it looks very interesting. I haven't gotten that far because I'm scared of Zeus or whatever the hero is in there that's really overpowered. But I don't know. I've only played Dota 2 once. I'm not really a fan of Heroes of Newerth. It doesn't appeal to me because if I'm playing Heroes of Newerth, I'd rather just play Dota 2 because I have a lot of friends who play Dota 2. And Smite seems interesting, but I think it just needs to expand a little. What experience do you have, Kyle?
I agree with Liam in that I'm really excited to see what Smite does. I've watched plenty of gameplay for it, and right now they only have the 5 champs. But I'm really looking forward to seeing, how many champs it's going to get and what it's going to do. Heroes of Newerth, I can't really say anything about because it doesn't particularly interest me. I don't watch anything for it, other than maybe a couple videos on its characters and champions. Dota 2... one of my friends is particularly big on it, and I wish I could play it. I can't wait to play it, because I know that it's going to be free to play, I believe, next year. And it's League of Legends on crack. It's not one character is overpowered. Every character is overpowered, in a sense. Every character can do something spectacular, and there's tons of characters for you to pick. So I'm looking forward to when that finally gets done and, it comes out and we can all play it. So, it's going to be a big step up from playing League of Legends.
What I find with Dota is that, it's much more skill-intensive than League of Legends, but the problem is, because of that, it's if you make the slightest mistake, you're just done. What my friend, the friend that Kyle had been talking about, had said to me once is that team fights, which are a big part of the League of Legends gameplay mechanics, is that those are decided in fractions of a second. You use one proper ability and you just completely won that team fight. There's no turning back. Just the I don't know the right term to use here. I want to say the rubber banding of it, where you can just go back and forth and just be you can capitalize on the tiniest mistake. It's just there's a lot of pressure in Dota, and there's a lot of swinginess in Dota, and that scares me in playing it. But at the same time, the fact that I can learn to be a better League of Legends player through Dota because of the fact that you have those clutch moments in Dota that you can capitalize on more in League of Legends, because a lot of people take for granted the moments in the in-betweens of League of Legends where you don't have everything going on at once, where you have the time to think and, like, you don't have to just completely act every second because everything has to happen right now. Like, you have those moments where you get to think, oh, that carry that I should be focusing is over there. You don't have that time in Dota, but you have it in League of Legends. Playing Dota could teach you to be more reflexive and on the ball about it. So I'm looking forward to playing Dota to learn that.
Sounds pretty good. Who's your least favorite champion out of, like, all of them?
That's a good question, because, like, it's funny, a lot of the champions I used to really hate, specifically Vayne, who I was talking about a lot earlier, I actually picked up. I actually have a skin for Vayne, because now that she's in a good place, I think she's fine. Right now, my least favorite champion to play against, I'm not a big fan of Shyvana. I was not a fan of her on release, because, I had very high hopes for her going into release because, oh my god, the Dragon Champion, she's got to be like the best thing ever. And when they released her kit, I was very disappointed to find a lack of crowd control and like just what I felt to be a lackluster team fighting kit. But then when pro players, and specifically my best friend who was really into Shyvana after she was released, like, when they proved me wrong that Shyvana is actually, like, a really good champion, I was just, like, surprised. But now, every day, like, when you play top lane, you learn to hate Shyvana when you play top lane, because if you're blue team, how it works is, when you're the blue team playing top lane, the enemy team, purple team, has a red buff right next to top lane, so if you're playing a champion who starts at red buff, like Shyvana, you can get red buff, and then run to top lane and gank top lane to snowball your top lane, and it's so annoying having to play so defensively against lanes, especially like when you're playing a top lane where you know you can win. Like I'm playing, like for example, I'll play Nasus, and the enemy will be like Talon or something, who can barely ever hurt me because when I play Nasus, I stack armor to fight enemy AD bruisers. But then like if Shyvana comes in, I'm just fucked because Talon just jumps to me, slows me down, and Shyvana with red buff destroys me. So I hate playing against Shyvana. Who else? Like there's a couple others. I never liked Fiora. I found her very boring to play. I found her ultimate's really annoying. Whenever I play jungle, Kyle made this point earlier. Enemy mid laners who are really hard to gank, like Ahri, Morgana, Kassadin, Kennen, like champions who have good escapes in mid lane are just so frustrating to play against as when you're playing jungle, especially if they're winning, because like they can be pushed all the way to your tower, and the minute you go to gank them, they just blink out and they're like, ha ha ha, suck a dick, I just escaped your gank. And they continue to snowball their lane, or dominate their lane. It's so frustrating when you're trying to help your mid lane, and they're having the worst time of their life against this guy, and you just can't do anything, because boop, they're out of here. So frustrating. But what about you, Kyle? What are your least favorite champs to play against?
Well, least favorite champs in terms of characters, design, backstory, a toolkit. I don't like Jace as a character. I think he is a punk. I don't like his backstory. I think Victor is a very cool champ in his design and his backstory. And Jace kind of just comes in and worms his way into the backstory without actually doing anything. Champs I don't like play. Well, some champs are just less fun to play against. People like Shaco. Just so many boxes.
So many boxes.
Tryndamere is easy enough to counter. You just have to focus him with a good amount of CC. But it seems like whenever they have an enemy Tryndamere, nobody's smart enough to actually do that.
Yeah.
So Tryndamere is quite annoying to be up against if your team is quite dumb. I think I don't like playing up against Blitzcrank because I'm so bad at dodging his pulls.
Oh, this is so annoying as bot lane.
Yeah.
You get pulled and you're just dead.
But that's the point. I get that's the point of Blitzcrank is to pull someone in. So I'll let that slide.
One thing I wanted to make note of because I forgot, Shen. Shen is extremely hard to play against in top lane. Like, he has so much sustain. Like, he even has burst damage. You have, like, level 2. You have your you dash into them, throw your Vorpal Blade at them, and hit them with your passive, and they've lost a third of their health. Meanwhile, when despite the fact that you taunted them and are taking minion aggro, you take no damage because you're Shen and you win every trade because you're a fucking faggot. But anyway, yeah, I hate Shen.
Which champion would you say would be the best for carrying the entire team?
Generally, it depends on what you're doing. Like, if you're playing low elo ranked, like, elo is the ladder ratings on ranked games. Basically, the best players in the world are always going to be, like, the 2600 ratings. I'm currently 1200. I'm nothing big. Don't worry about me. I think if you're playing, like, low elo ranked, champions like Darius are extremely strong there. New Evelynn, new Xin, just play those champions, play like the Dr. Mundo, and then there are champions that nobody expects to be good, but are actually, like, ridiculous, like Volibear. Nobody, like, knows that right now Volibear is just the best, but he is actually quite absurd in top lane. Like, he can chunk you for, like, a third of your health, and at level 6 just completely dominate you. If you're trying to carry yourself, like, they'll obviously insta-ban Shen. Shen, Cassidy, and Morgana are really strong in solo queue, but if they don't ban them, you can take them. But remember how, like, first picks work. In draft pick, a big part of winning the game is counter picking, and there's a whole nother thing of how to counter pick champions. When you play enough games, you realize that X champion is good against Y champion. Like, the big one is Rammus versus Tryndamere. Like, Rammus can completely shit on Tryndamere, and there's nothing he can do about it. But you eventually learn, like, the nuances of how each champion fights each other, and you can figure out how to carry the game with that. There are also, like, heavy snowball champions, such as, like, Akali, Katarina, Kennen, Brand. Any attack damage carry is generally very good to carry yourself with, because if you can get to the 30-minute point, you're generally doing a good job if you're not dying 8 times, because you can, like, get your farm up and farm your Infinity Edge and Phantom Dancer or Bloodthirster and just do shit tons of damage everywhere. Just keep in mind, like, it's less about, like, carrying a game is less about who you pick and more about how you play it. Like, you need to know who to focus, you need to know when to gank a lane, how to survive your lane, how to fight your lane. Like, it's so many things you have to be worried about. Like, but if you know what you're doing, if you know how to play the game, and you have a general understanding of how any game is going to go given the team comp or how skilled any one player is, you're generally going in the right direction to carry a game.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Kyle?
Obviously, some champs are, once they get fed, things are going to curve a lot harder than they will with other champs. Some champs, as they get fed, they just build more tanky or more attack damagey, and that's fine. But some champs are just ridiculous in that if you see, say, an AP Shaco, who all he needs to do is plant boxes in a team fight, he will be doing a good portion of the damage. But he has an escape. Someone like Jax as well. If he gets fed, that is going to go horribly for the enemy team. Jax just jumps in, he uses ult to give him magic resistance and armor, and he can stun everybody in his vicinity while dodging their abilities. And he still has an escape. Champs that are like that, like Ezreal,
Lee
Sin, that can get in there and, wreck somebody, and then still have an ability to escape, some means of escape. Those are just awful. If they're smart players and they get fed, there's a good chance you're going to end up losing that game.
Like, on the whole Lee Sin tangent, any champ that has a high skill cap, like a Lee Sin champion, like LeBlanc, generally champs like that, who are really hard to play, but if you know how to play them, are well worth the reward because you can carry the game. Those are the ones, like, if you can learn those champions, like, take the time, know the matchups, and just get that champion down to a T, like, you can really do some work in some games and make some really clutch moments for your team that'll just get your team going like, wow, you just did that, you're the best, I love you, can I suck your dick, whatever. So, yeah, just learn, like, the hard champions, and you're probably going to get pretty good at the game.
Okay, last question, and this is a fucking long-ass podcast, but here's the last question. If you had the choice to play only one champion for the rest of your life, which one would it be and why?
Oh, man.
I'd be Twisted Fate, because I'm the best Twisted Fate.
It's really hard for me to pick between Jax and Nasus. I want to say Jax because I don't think there's ever going to be a time where Jax is just utter shit and unplayable, because a kit like Jax's is just way too strong to not be good. Generally, champs with good kits like Aurelia, Lee Sin, Jax, they're going to be good champions regardless of what their numbers are. I think unless you make their numbers absolute shit, which Riot won't do because their goal is to make all champions fair and balanced and fun to play for each player. I think those sorts of champions are going to be like the types that you'll want to be playing constantly. Like, I'd probably just play Jax for the rest of my life because, like, Nasus can get nerfed and be useless sometimes. But, yeah, probably Jax. What about you?
I don't think it's all about, like, who's good now and who's going to be good later. I think when you're choosing a champ for this, you can only have one champ. It's all about who you feel most comfortable playing, who is your champ, who you like to be every game. In that, I feel very confident as, like, Swain and Janna. Janna, I don't know about. I wouldn't pick her over Swain. If I had to pick one champ to play, then I think it would be Swain. Because he's just fun to play. He's got good sustain and CC, and he's the ruler of Noxus. I mean, come on.
All right, well, those are all the questions we have today for you guys. Thank you very much for this podcast. I know I calculated it out, and I think it's like 116 minutes or some shit like that, but I'm probably just going to compile it into one video. I'm not going to separate it into parts. But to be honest, this podcast is probably going to be it's probably going to be for like the hardcore gamers instead of just the everyday nonchalantly just going to like I'm just going to look at your videos. But thanks a lot for being here with us, guys. Don't forget.
No problem. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, don't forget to check them out on Facebook. They're the League of Legends Windsor area page, so just let them know, and they got a lot of cool stuff on there. My name is Gingerbeard from Klysm Gaming, along with Liam and Kyle from the League of Legends Windsor area Facebook page, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Anything you guys have to say before we leave?
Nope.
Fuck bitches, get money.
Damn right. All right, see you guys. Peace.
Later, guys.